If you ever feel like you want better habits, a better life, but getting started feels like a battle, you're not alone. I struggled with that for years. But in today's video, I want to show you how I stopped forcing change and started setting things up so changing actually felt easier to do. Now, to explain how this works, we need to take a look at dogs and how dogs are influenced, right? So imagine you've got a puppy and you want to teach that puppy how to sit, right? But the only thing is, you don't use any rewards, you don't use any praise, you just wait for the dog to sit, and then you say, okay, you sat. Cool. Now, how hard would it be for you to teach that dog, that puppy, how to sit? Very freaking hard. Why? Because there's nothing helping influence its behavior. And so, yeah, you could eventually teach it to sit if you're really patient, but it's going to be a lot of struggle. It's going to be a lot of discipline on both ends. It's going to be a lot of willpower. It's going to be hard. But it can still get done, but it's going to be struggle. Now, imagine you went to the store, got you some treats, came back, and they said, all right, doggy, sit for this. Well, all of a sudden, the puppy is doing everything and anything to get that treat. And eventually it sits down and you give it a treat and it says, oh, wait. So if I sit and I can get a treat, well, I'm going to do it all the time. And so now you have effectively controlled or influenced that dog's behavior because you got a tool, something that we know will influence his behavior, and used it. Now, imagine you're trying to use discipline and brute force energy and just struggle to finish some task you don't want to do. Well, that's the equivalent of you trying to teach a dog how to sit without a treat. You're trying to finish these tasks that got to get done by just pure discipline and willpower and all this hardship. When in reality, you could go to the store, get yourself a treat, and influence your behavior to make doing that task a lot easier. So you can keep struggling with willpower. You can keep struggling with discipline. You can continue doing the same thing you've been doing that's been making your life feel like a struggle bus. Or you can say, okay, well, I understand that there are things that influence me as a human being, and if I use those things, it'll make life a lot easier. So let me understand what influences me as a human, because we understand everything else but us. Let me finally look within and see, how do I function? And then use that knowledge to the best of my ability. And that's what I'm here to give you. I'm here to give you a little nugget of how we operate as humans so you can take this into your life and start seeing differences. Now, of course, this isn't the only thing that will influence us, but this is a big thing that will influence us. So I really want to make sure you understand what that is and how to use it. So that brings us to the big question of what influences us and how can we use that in our life. Well, I remember a couple months ago when I was living with my mom, I needed to make dinner and finish working on my thumbnails, just my videos, needed them. But I had took a fat nap, and when I woke up, it rocked me. There was, hey Slick, hey buddy, hey buddy. Anyway, I'll show you my cat. This is my cat. Okay. Go ahead, Frolic. Anyway, what was I saying? He be distracted me sometimes. But yeah, I need to make dinner. I need to finish my thumbnails. But I took a nap that rocked my world. So when I woke up, move. The lack of motivation I had was very lack of motivational. I mean, there was no way in the world I was going to get up. Like, I knew, but you know that fogginess in your head you get, and you just like, I know it, but I'm not going to do it. That's the state I was in. Okay. All right. He's just doing his thing. But anyway, that's the state I was in. Until my mom came home and walked in my room and said, baby, I got cinnamon buns. One thing about me you can understand, I love sweets. Almost like too much. Now I've learned to dial myself in. I've learned to, get a bit of handle on that. But she's still there. I love sweets, okay? So when my mom told me she had cinnamon buns, I was like, okay, I want those. But I gotta do these thumbnails. I gotta make dinner. So what if once I do those things, then I can have cinnamon buns? And the minute I made that and I said that to myself, I had all the energy in the world. I was up out of that bed, and I didn't even care that I took it. I was in that kitchen making my dinner, and then I got my thumbnails done as fast as possible while I was eating dinner, and then I could have my cinnamon bun. So the thing that influences us that you might not have caught up on is rewards. You know, you can get a donkey, by the way, to move one in two ways. You can hit it with a stick, which is what most of us do to ourselves. Stick represents brutality, discipline, willpower. We do those things to get the donkey moving without realizing there's a second option. Waving a carrot over its face so it can say, I want this. Let me put in the hard work and effort and move towards it so I can get this carrot. And so that's what I did. I literally put a carrot over my face, well, really a cinnamon bun. And I would say, okay, I'm gonna do the hard work, I'm gonna do the effort it takes to get that cinnamon bun. That is what we have to do. We have to be able to reward ourselves strategically for behaviors we don't feel like doing. The only issue is our society doesn't want us to know this stuff. Our society wants to keep us weak-minded. So we weren't taught how to use rewards as a motivator to get behavior done. We were taught to just use rewards as nonstop pleasure. And that's why most people struggle in life. Because imagine you are constantly feeding this dog carrots, carrots, carrots every single day. And literally, you want to take this long trip. And you fed your donkey the last carrot you have. And then you say, all right, let's go. That donkey ain't gonna move. He got what he wanted. So why would he move? He got what he wanted. So now, the only way to get that donkey to move is with sticks. So you beat the donkey without realizing that donkey has a tolerance for how much it can take. So you beat it so much, it falls down, it crashes out, and now it can't move anymore. How does this relate to you? We don't use rewards in our favor because society doesn't teach us how to do this. So we are constantly giving ourselves rewards every single day. I mean, being on your phone is a reward. Having dinner is a reward. I'm not saying you can't do this stuff. I'm just saying be aware that you're rewarding yourself constantly so then you can be strategic about when you can have that reward. But we were taught to just use those as nonstop pleasure. We are constantly feeding ourselves the carrots. And then when it comes to taking our journey to get what we want, we have to resort to the stick. We have to beat ourselves down, which results in us being burnt out, us feeling overwhelmed, our mental health going down, all because we're not using what works for us as human beings. So now that you understand, rewards are the key to helping you move and motivating you. We're no different than donkey, okay? If there's a stick, like, let's say there's $1 million check hanging in front of your face. You don't care how hard it takes. You're going to be running, trying to get that $1 million check. So just like donkeys, rewards are a great way to influence our behavior. And if we can strategically line up our day with rewards to get rewards to trigger us to act a certain way, we are no longer struggling through life. We're flowing through life. And one thing you realize is you enjoy stuff a lot more when you work for it. And I enjoy life a lot more because I set things up every day so that I'm rewarded, but I have to do work before I get the reward. So I'm always working. I get this thing and it feels so nice to have it because of what I did earlier. Like, it's much more meaningful than you just having the reward for doing nothing. And that's something I want to cover. What kind of behaviors have you been rewarding up to this point? Because you didn't know that's what you were doing. You had no clue. No one taught you this. So think about the behaviors you've been rewarding. For most people, they're rewarding doing nothing with entertainment, endless entertainment, junk food, drugs. Doing nothing gets them so many rewards. But doing things that will actually push the needle in their life, that takes so many sticks. So no wonder most people aren't putting in the effort to get what they want, because who would want to be beat with sticks every single day, right? So think about that. What have you been rewarding? And there's this quote by John C. Maxwell I want to share with you. He's a fantastic leader, fantastic author. Definitely check him out if you're trying to get into leadership and you need to be a better person. He said, you get the kind of behavior you reward. You don't get what you hope for, ask for, wish for, or beg for. You get what you reward. So the higher ups, the people who are achieving greatness in life, they understand what influences them as humans. They understand it's rewards. It's being strategic about how you use them. But the majority of people don't understand this because we live in a society that wants to keep us weak and wants us to value other things instead of self-mastery and intentionality and future thinking. Our society wants us to value obedience to anyone with power, consumerism, shop, don't save nothing, and endless entertainment. We're going to amuse ourselves to death. Like that's the society we're in. So we have to see it for what it is and then move differently. And it might seem a little weird how I'm trying to get you to move, but it's going to seem weird because we're in a society that doesn't want us to know this stuff. It's like you've been writing with your right hand all your life, and I actually tell you the left hand is the best hand to write with. And actually, if you do this, you'll live 10 more years. But once you start writing with your left hand, it's not gonna feel natural. You're gonna feel weird, but you're gonna get benefits from it. So this is what this advice will offer you. So now let's get into rewards, how to figure out your rewards, and how to give it to yourself in a way that will influence you. So there's two types of rewards we can cover. And you want to make a list of your rewards. I had my own list. Now I don't need it because I know what I like, and it's natural to me. But in the beginning, you want a list of two types of rewards. Reward one are things you love to do, but you don't make time for. And number two are things you love and you already do it. So for example, things I love to do, but I don't make time for is listening to Pokemon Lofi. Okay? You got it. I'm a nerd. I love listening to that, but I don't make time for it. Another thing I love to do is reading fictional books, not nonfiction, fictional hard copy books. I don't make time for that, but I absolutely love it, right? Even listening to old past albums. What am I saying? Old past? Just old albums. Old albums that I love re-listening to. I don't make time for that. Podcasts that are really funny to me. I don't make time for that. So think about the things you really love, but you don't make time for, and then what the things you already love to do. For me, I already and it should be something you're already doing, right? So that's number two. So the first one, rewards. Let me make sure I'm being clarifying. The first reward are things you love, but you don't make time for. So pause the video and just come up with 5 things. Easy. Now the second reward are things you love doing that you already do. So for me, I'm a big bag, so I love eating time. Anything that deals with me eating, I love it, and I already do that. Going out for walks, I do that. I love it. Eating protein cookies, I love it. I do that. So pause the video and make your list of rewards right now. Now, once you have your rewards written out, the last step you gotta do is think about that task you don't want to do. Whatever it is, think about it. What is it? Put the reward before or after that reward. I mean, not before, but during or after that reward. So, for example, writing for me was a hard task in the beginning. It's not anymore. But to get myself to write, I would say, if I'm writing, I can listen to some soft lo-fi in the background because it's something I don't make time for, but I really love it. So then it was so rewarding for me to be writing because I get to hear the lo-fi and it's nice to me. Now, how do I reward something after an activity? Well, recording videos, sometimes I don't feel like recording. And so I tell myself, if I record videos, I can go to the store and pick me up some protein cookies. I'm quick to get it. Like if I say that one line, I am quick to get in front of this camera because I love eating protein cookies. I already get them. So why not just say, if you go ahead and get this video done, go get you some more. So that's just a slight example of how you can use rewards to motivate yourself to get things done. And I could go through a rabbit hole of even more examples, but I think you're kind of getting the picture right here. As long as you have rewards and give it to yourself during or after activity, and you tell yourself straight up, I cannot have this reward until this gets done, or I can have this reward while I'm doing this, that will influence you. I mean, last week I was at my mom's staying for like 3 days and I need to get the talking points done. So when I woke up in the morning, I'm in bed, my laptop is right next to me. I tell myself, I can't get out of bed until I finish these videos. I mean, writing these scripts, not scripts, but talking heads. So essentially, I gave myself a reward after I got the work done because after I get the work done, I can get out of bed. I ain't gotta be stuck in bed all day. So this stuff actually works. And I was told this advice years before and I didn't listen. And that resulted in years of me struggling to get work that I really wanted to get done. So please take this advice. It definitely will work for you as long as you have rewards that you actually want, okay, that have meaning to you. Now, using rewards is a great way to motivate yourself, but I know you want more than motivation. You want to live a life that's true to you, and the best way to do that is to get off the default mode of living we've all been conditioned to stay on. You know, when you wake up 2, 3 hours before work and you scroll your phone, let the time pass you, and then you rush off to work and you be there for 8, 9, 10 hours. You come home, you sit in front of the couch, exhausted, and watch TV and scroll your phone and eat foods that aren't good for you, and then go to sleep and repeat the cycle. And now it's 2 days off, and you party on the weekend, and you're back to work, and 40 years have passed. You're old, rocking back and forth in your rocker, and you're retired, but you can't really enjoy life because you're old. And not to say, oh, people don't enjoy life. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's not a life we want to be on. So we have to learn how to be more intentional to get the things we want from this life. Because the people who move with intention, they get what they want because they're intentional. And that's why I made the course, Live by Design, to teach you how to move with intention and stay off of default mode forever. It'll be the first link in my description. Check it out if you are interested in that. Now, every time you're struggling with a task, ask yourself, how can I reward myself during or after this task? And it'll be a lot easier for you to get it done. And the rewards ain't gotta be big. I mean, I literally gave myself a cinnamon bun to help me get started. But using them will increase your productivity, your motivation, and just make life feel less like a struggle and more like you flowing through it and having fun. But if you don't take these ideas, it'll be just like me years ago. When I was given this information, I didn't use it, and then for years on, I struggled until I finally used the information and realized how easy life can be when you use what influences you as a human being. We aren't taught this stuff. That's why I'm here to help you break the cycle and learn what will help you thrive in life. If you like this video and want more, feel free to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, you know the rest, and I'll see you for the next one.